And today, guys, we are going to talk. But first, we won't be talking on Elsor. In fact, we'll be talking somewhere much more fitting. We'll be talking here, where my healing truly began. Healing, you say? You know, this place is starting to feel more like home. This really do, in fact, feels like home. Yes, indeed. This place do feel like home. Healing because let's just say that I had to do a lot of healing back from Void Sword. I came into Void Sword wanting to have fun, wanting to be nice to everyone. I got myself caught up in some shit I didn't need to be caught up in. I didn't know how to say no. And because I did not know how to say no and I didn't set boundaries for myself, I suffered. And then, you know me, I'm a very giving person. The amount of money throughout the years that I have funded people, not just one person, but but a group of people, is astounding. I'm more selfless than I let on. Most of the times when I was, loading up on Void Sword, I wasn't even funding myself. I was funding people in my guild, and some of those people would turn around and defame me. They would make rumors about me, and I would be angry for a very long time. I've had significant others, lovers in fact, that I would fund, and I still get insulted. Death did it at one point. Person in Randagon especially did it, called me every name in the book. Some men that I've rejected also wanted in on the defamation rumors and stuff about me. Called me every name in the book. One of them showed up recently. I rejected him, and when he found out about my boyfriend, and when he found out about my ex-boyfriend at the time, which was that, he called me every name in the book, and played into spewing lies and rumors and stuff. And another one who was literally in my guild, and he was an in-game son too. I just did not want to. I'll be honest with you guys. I just did not want to go out with him because I knew what kind of trouble he was. But that didn't stop me from wanting to be his friend. I still gave him a chance, even though I was aware about the fact that he catfished. I was aware about the fact that I was aware of everything, but I still wouldn't be his friend. I was just waiting for the day when he would stop lying about being someone else and that he would finally be honest with himself and tell people, hey, that person that I keep talking about, that person doesn't exist. I'm that person. I knew from the moment that I met him that he was lying. I knew the entire time. I was just waiting for him to admit it for himself. And when he finally told me, that's when I told him. I knew this whole time. I waited for you to finally accept it for yourself that you are not the person that you claim to be. You are yourself. And the way he was so taken back by it told me everything I need to know. He didn't love himself. So it was a lot of patience, but he finally learned to love himself over the years. I had to split with him for years. When I came back to Rift, I ran into him. It's funny, a lot of these people that hated themselves. And you want to know something that's funny? The person who showed up in my comment said, "Sup, old lady," is another one of those people who hated himself. Probably just wanted someone to accept him for him. I fought a person for 4 or 5 years in a well-known drama that hated herself, felt like she had to lie to herself, felt like she had to lie to others for people to accept her, when she just wanted friends just like anyone else wanted to. Friends. She wanted someone to love her for her. She wanted someone to accept her for her. I've noticed that a lot of people that I've run into, they hate themselves. They just want someone to accept themselves. And because they haven't found that person, they lash out at others. They attack people who are trying to help them. The very people who are there who actually do love them. They suffer the most of all the people they attack. I'm not saying this to insult, I'm saying this to bring up a point. In my very guild, I've had people who came here, and the people who start drama, something that I've noticed, the people who have started drama in my guild have been the main ones who haven't accepted themselves, the same ones who hate themselves, the same ones that are trying to find themselves. It took a great deal of patience in me getting stressed out. I've ranted about said people too. It took a great deal of patience for me to help them through the issues, to let them know that it's okay to be you. You can be you. There's gonna be someone that dislikes you, but just know that if you have people in your corner, then the people that dislike you don't matter. I've had people who have entered my guild and felt like they didn't belong. And I kept trying to assure them that they do, because they matter of fact do. And to give you an example, Tom was one of those people. He didn't like himself. For the longest time, he pretended to be someone else. I knew that it was a lie. I just didn't tell him. I played along with it. He disappeared for like 2 years and came back and finally admitted that he's a guy and bisexual at that. And I still accepted him for him. I didn't give a fuck about him. I didn't give a fuck about him lying to me about his gender and his ethnicity, because he did lie about being a white woman. But then when we meet up again, he finally was upfront with me and told me the truth. He thought that I was going to be upset. No, I didn't give a fuck. I cared about his well-being and how he was doing. Some of these people who fought me over buying everything, they don't know, are people who are lost and don't really know what they want to do when it comes to stuff like clothes and stuff. They don't know, they don't have any direction, they're frustrated with where they're at and process and progress and everything. And I understand. But let me tell you, fighting through that whole clown fiesta and everything, and the people I had at the time, it taught me a whole lot of things. Especially one that was the most heartbreaking. Let me be real with y'all. The most heartbreaking experience throughout that whole clownery, all that drama and everything. And I'll be honest with you guys, was Korra. Y'all wanna know how heartbreaking it was? Yes, Yes, to this day, I still think about it. I saw her as a little sister. It was during a time, it was unexpected too. Like, I've known her through a friend. She was the ex-girlfriend of a friend that I used to have. When I first came back to Cold Closers, Khaled, yes, his name is Khaled, but his Indian name on board was Sheed. Khaled saw my videos. He would give me instructions on how to fight bosses and stuff, and I would follow through. He was teaching me how to fight bosses on the closers. He was monitoring. He was monitoring my progress. He would give me pointers. I was appreciative. Before I had to delete my old videos because Emmy was trying hard to find evidence on me, and I had no choice but to delete all of that because I was trying to work on my goal, which was to solve issues with Mia at the time. But I deleted a whole lot of videos. And when I first came back, my earliest videos was me mentioning Khaled. Kaur was the ex-girlfriend of Khaled, my old friend. He told me, you remind me of my girlfriend. You should meet her at some point. You two are a lot alike. So I did look forward to it. She wasn't happy to see me though. First on as friends, I would find out she wasn't happy to see me. She thought I was somebody who catfished her friend back and forth elsewhere. Somebody also had the name Chiharu, but they posed to be a guy, and they catfished her friend, and she strongly hated this person. She thought I was that person. Couldn't find out to her surprise, I was a different Chiharu. So good to know somebody tried to impersonate me. But then again, once I left the Elso community, somebody did try to impersonate me. I would hear about it from Tom when he came back. But one day I was falling down. I was just doing dungeons and stuff. I was going through a hard time. She whispered me and was like, I understand and I'm here. Basically. It was so unexpected. It was so unexpected. It was so unexpected. I broke down and cried. Because I thought I had finally found somebody who finally understood me. The heartbreaking part of that is she didn't. In the end, I found out she didn't. And also in the end, I would finally figure out that this woman was talking behind my back. And I would also find out that she was trying to manipulate others. That's the heartbreaking part. Because before I finally found out, I spoke very highly of her. And I cried once I realized that I hurt her in my pursuit on trying to fight Ruby for War Games #1 to prove a point to Dark and Cali that I also complained by justice. I was so caught up in trying to fight Ruby over it because they would praise Ruby as if me and Sumin never existed. As if me and Sumin weren't also doing by justice. Weren't also breaking stuff. It hurt that I'll be honest, Johnny. When you kept saying that I broke this, I broke stuff, you forgot that I can break stuff too with Bai. I have a talent too. I know you taught me hitboxes, but I have a talent too. Sometimes I felt like my work was overlooked. But others, when they do this stuff, I always acknowledge the stuff. Sometimes I felt like my stuff wasn't acknowledged, and I was truly doing my work in the shadows. But when I recognize that others are doing their work and stuff, I always acknowledge that. Or at least I try to when I can. Sometimes I felt overshadowed. And at times I did feel like that all the work that I was putting in were going to naught, and I felt like all the help that I was given wasn't actually helping, and I was wasting my time at times. And I'm the type of person that does not like to waste her time. So if you waste my time, know that I'm going to be very upset about that. I hate wasting my time. Time is something you can never get back. Money, possessions, you can easily get back. Time is something you can never get back. Once that time is gone, it's gone. It's never coming back. That's why I get upset when people waste my time. Time is something you will never get back. But money, items, possessions, you can always get back. Time is something you can't. Loss of time is permanent. Loss of possessions is temporary. Loss of money is temporary. I've always lived by that rule. I've always lived by that. But yeah, I ended up hurting her in the process and I regretted it. She told me she forgave me. She told me it was okay. But that's, to this day, that's still lies. To that day, that still lies on my conscience. I say this because this right here would be one of the few breaking points. One of the few breaking points in which I would start taking literally anything and everything with a grain of salt. Until Yomi came along. Came back, per se. Yomi was doing with stuff of his own and life as such. But he would quietly watch in the shadows. I just didn't realize how much quietly in the shadows he was watching until I found out for myself. Yomi would be the person that would restore my trust, that would restore my trust in people to be able to trust. And Miyu as well. Miyu sat through all of it. She couldn't tell. Miyu knew beforehand. Miyu knew before I did that Kaworu wasn't actually being genuine with me. She just couldn't tell me. She knew, but she had to let me figure out for myself. Understandably so. Because I spoke highly of Kaworu, so if she tried to tell me, I would have related to Kaworu and Kaworu would have clowned her. So it would have fucked up her entire plans. I bring up Kaworu to say this. If I had to tell you, she was one of the closest bonds where I felt like I could finally try to trust someone. But after everything that happened with Kaworu, it will remind me that I can't fully trust anyone. That was the case until I met Yomi. With Yomi, I've been able to I've never done this before. I've never trusted somebody with, ever since something happened on Void Elsword, where two friends had access to my account, and they literally fought on my account, insulting each other because they wanted me to trust one over the other. One was literally on my account. That friend saw that other friend on my account and started fighting with that person. And the friend who was on my account, while I was in the middle of like being busy with something else, would message me and show me everything that she was saying, insulting me and him. I caught some strays. So after I saw that and realized that they were making a fuss over something childish, I never gave my account info to anyone else. That was years. The first person to ever get access to my account was me. Well, actually, no, it was Core. It was Core because I believe my laptop broke or Wi-Fi. Then after that, I never gave my account info to her ever again. I had her account info just in case she ever needed to do trades or something. Same thing for an old friend named Lux, but he got banned from RMT. He didn't do RMT, but they thought that he was going to do but someone thought that he was going to do RMT. Well, he was trying to sell for real money. He didn't know that real money trade is against the rules, so he unfortunately got banned. Instead of trying to sell for credits and stuff. He could just gave it to somebody, but he wanted to try to get his money back. They said that RMT is against the rules. I might slap people ban, and it happened. Which brings me to the next thing. After that, I never gave my account info to anyone. Then I gave my account info to Miyu and Yomi, which has been a blessing. Miyu has been a blessing. I've had her account info, but she got a scare, so now she doesn't share her account info. To trust. If I was still actively stressed, if I was still have my main focus on closers, I'd probably be funding the shit out of that someone. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise because she'd rather do her work herself. Yomi. I bring up the major point of Yomi. Yomi would be the person that triggers the healing arc that I've been going through. I've been so busy funding others. I've been so busy working on others' accounts and stuff. Because before Yami and I became cool and everything, I did give him stuff, but he gave it to someone. He gave his stuff to someone else, and I was upset he did that because that was for him. I forgive him. I've been forgiven him for that, but yeah. Zach, when I funded the shit out of him, all I wanted was time. All I wanted was his time spent for him to spend time with me, but he chose Roblox over me. So I gave the stuff that I gave him to Def. Def put up a whole front. We've been through this. Def put up a whole front saying he's gonna do this and that, but he never did. I'm not even studying the fact that he's in the military. No, my issue was the fact that his friends had access to his account. I had all these gifts on him. So they were plotting to take his stuff and blame it on me, and he would have took that at face value. So something that was slowly going to get rebuilt because I had dated Def before. I broke up with him after he became too much. And he would spend some years trying to convince me to give him a second chance. And I would hesitate because I know how he is. And then the people around him. So I've seen this for years. The people around him, I could not trust them back then. And I can't trust him now. I could not trust him when I went out with him again. And I still don't trust him now. So the fact that he already had people whispering into his ear, and he does not know this because I can't tell him. I did try to tell him right before I stopped talking to him. Let's just say I stopped responding. before I stopped responding to him and stopped checking up on him, I let him know that he needs to watch his friends closely. I said that for a reason. The reason why I said that is because I'm seeing something that he doesn't see. What I'm seeing is that his friends are the reason why he is not going to be able to achieve the happiness he had. He needs to change his friends' food. His friends are going to be what stops him from obtaining happiness. I say this because of how they act and how they perceive themselves. So I had to get away. When Yomi pointed this out, it became even more clear. So I started making moves to get away. And all those gifts that I had previously given Zach, then gave that. I took that shit and then some and gave it to Yomi because I knew Yomi would use it. But Yomi's caught up with life and stuff, so that's the reason why he haven't really been on. But I'm fine with it this time because it's in the hands of somebody who I greatly trust. And you know what's funny? People thought that Yomi wasn't trustworthy. People thought that Yomi was this, that. Much like how they thought that I was. When Yomi is one of the most biggest when Yomi is one of the biggest sweethearts I've ever met. I know for everyone else he talks funny, but he is one of the biggest sweethearts that I've ever met. So I'm proud to say that I can trust him with my stuff despite the fact that he haven't been able to really get on because life has been kicking his ass. He works a full-time job. Yeah, I know Death was in the military and everything, but Zach had time. Zach didn't have a job. Now he got a job. His sister forced him to get a job. But before, he didn't have a job. He stayed at home almost 24/7, unless he had to go outside and walk and stuff because his sister forced him. Or he had to go to a doctor's appointment because, you know, he gets sick quite often. So he had time. He just spent it on Roblox and VR chat. But you know me and my patience. So, did I specifically waste my time? Yeah. Was I upset about that? Not just upset, heartbroken. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you for possessions. I just ask for your time. I can get stuff myself. I can get possessions myself. I don't need your money. I just want your time. I just want you to spend time with me. That was it. That was all I wanted. He couldn't even do that. It was so simple. He's also on limited Wi-Fi now because he was so lazy that he couldn't even take out the trash. So it's just a punishment for that. She put parental controls on his Wi-Fi. All because he could not take out the trash, which really made me shake my head and show me just how immature he is. The sad part was I was thinking about marrying him at some point because I truly loved him. But once all that happened, you can only imagine how heartbroken I was. And when a woman is done, a woman is done. So I went from having all this love for him and being very much in love with him to now when he talks and stuff, I just, oh, okay. It's quite literally like he beat all the love out of me. But Yomi helps me heal from that. Cause I kept everything bottled up inside. I think you guys already know that I keep things bottled up inside. Cause I try to handle things on my own. I keep everything bottled up inside, and then it explodes and stuff. You guys have witnessed from time to time that it do explode. So, me telling you guys this is actually a huge deal for me because I'm usually used to keeping things to myself. I did have Benson recordings, but it got into the wrong hands, and let's just say those Benson recordings I'm most genuine. They got taken out of context. Reason being is because I was very, very, very honest. But now I can be very, very honest to you guys. So, well, are you being genuine? Yes, I am. I can now be very, given that I have a small viewership, I can now be very, very honest and very, very genuine with you guys. And that's what makes me happy. I can actually be genuine with you guys and tell you guys how I truly feel about stuff, such and such. So then, how you currently feel about closest then? I fought so hard to get to where we are in Closers. I fought so hard to get to where I am in Progress of By. I fought so hard to get the information out for not only just By, but for information out on Gear and stuff. I've literally had to discard friendships over stuff that will potentially destroy others. I've had to go to war with people like Dark and Callie over ideologies because their ideologies are flawed. I've got shit talked numerous times because of my ideologies that I feel like that will help people. I've had to distance myself from friends. I've had to literally fight friends, people that I've truly cared about, because of shit that they were doing in the shadows. I'm referring to the people who are from Indonesia who do real money trading, bottom, and come to find out they were close friends. I hated every second of it. Because I'm gonna be real with you guys. The reason why I said what I said about Dark and Callie is because I actually care about them. And they don't know it. They just probably think that I'm just talking shit. The people who follow them, blindly follow them, thinks that I'm just saying shit because I'm just talking shit. I say all that shit because I be seeing things that others won't see, refuse to see, or do see, but won't tell them. Because they have their own plans, their own agendas. Because I truly care for people and more than they know. The gazillion times where I felt like giving up and people had to pick me up when I felt like falling and say, Chihara, don't give up. Keep fighting, we need you. The gazillion times I've even left Discord servers thinking that and feeling like I'm a burden because all I truly wanted to do was just help others. I've said numerous times in the YouTube community posts, the videos, literally in the chats, to friends and everyone, that all I've wanted to do was just help. That's all I ever wanted. Just wanted to help people. All of that, and after all of that, some things have happened for the good. Some things are forever lost. Some bridges are forever burned. And one great example of a bridge that's forever burned is Korra. Although I wasn't the one that burned the bridge, she permanently burned the bridge alongside others. So I don't know where she is right now. She's most likely burned all of her important bridges. Because she had people who truly cared for her. She burned almost all her bridges, I believe. I would not be surprised if I eventually get confirmation. I did get some of a confirmation from Lux when he came back to me saying, I don't know, one day I was just blocked, but Core has told me that she was going to block him beforehand. Now you're probably wondering, why are you speaking of her now? She will forever go down as an example of someone that I thought that I had a close relationship with, a close friendship. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, because I thought I felt like a little sister, and then I spoke highly of her. I did fuck up though. I did fuck up because I felt like because you know, she was actually a very phenomenal vibe, but I felt like I was falling short when it came to her, and I felt like I wasn't able to help her and keep up with her. But she mostly does things herself because she's very independent. But you know, the caring side of me still wanted to be up there with her and help her and stuff, and I would end up hurting her instead. But she didn't quite comprehend that. At least I don't think she did. It don't feel like she did. From when I was told of what she said and so forth, it really feels like she didn't really understand what I was trying to do, which is understandable considering how I reacted and how I did everything. But yeah, that bridge is forever burnt. That bridge is never being rebuilt. And considering what I learned the moment the moment she stopped being friends and what I realized, that bridge is forever staying burnt. I will remember all the good memories we've had, but that bridge is forever going to stay burnt. And I know she will willingly let it stay burnt. I also will willingly let it stay burnt. But I will never forget. Ever. I will never forget. I will be the one who remembers. I will never forget. Now, if we're talking about Dark, Dark and I, we are on talking terms. Sometimes I spot him needing help and stuff. I do want to slide in and help him, and after that, give him space because I don't want him to think that I'm trying to like hurt him or anything. But I do hate the fact that I've had to clash with him on ideologies, especially Callie, because you and I, we all remember what happened when it came to the bias stuff when, yeah, and then all that happened. And then the backlash I got when I was honest and stuff. And then I had to address that too. We all know what happened there. I'll bring that up because, again, I never forgot what happened in the speedrunning server. I never forgot the tier list that was made that I knew that would cause problems. I never forgot what was said about Jay and Time being on like the very low list, and then they go and pick those two up, and then suddenly say that everything is balanced and everything when they couldn't just admit that they were wrong about what they said and publicly apologize because they had Jay and Time very low at the very bottom of the tier list, and they haven't even played them before. And then when they finally played them, as soon as they played them, after they finally got reworked, they suddenly say they're the strongest characters and so forth. And then, see where I'm going with this? I've never forgot anything that happened in that speedrunning server. I never forgot what was said about Bai in that speedrunning server. A lot of people who have been in that speedrunning server haven't forgot their experiences. That's why Dark and Callie got such a reputation they got now. Even though it's quite unspoken because you can't say it where they are because they have people who blindly follow them because they are staff members. See where I'm going with this? Because they are staff members. And if anyone tries to speak up about it, they get smited down by said people who, say with me, blindly follow them. if you care about them, you can't really speak out. How do I know? Well, how do I know? Well, it's easy. Go back to my videos where I've spoken up about it. Look at the comments and look at how much I've been insulted. And people have tried to attack my background noises. People have tried to attack my voice. People have tried to say that I sound stupid. Go into the Discord servers where they shit talk me and clown me for stuff that I said. And you will see ignorant stuff. Go ahead. Go ahead. And at some point, pull up the conversations with Dark and Callie, why don't you? Or the people who follow Dark and Callie, why don't you? And you will see that they said all kinds of shit about me. So yeah, I'm kind of used to it. I had to get used to it. I had no choice but to. Shit, if it was any other way, I wouldn't. Shit, if it was any other way, I honestly wouldn't have fought Callie so much on so many things that she said. Dark either. I had to clap back at Dark sometimes. I didn't even want to do that. I care about them. I didn't even want to do that shit. That shit's horrible. I hate fighting people I care about. I keep getting put in positions where I have to. The class guy ideologies or class like the amount of ideology clashes I've had within the past. Shit, I came back in 2019. Most of this shit didn't start until 2020. 5 years, almost 6 years, because it's October. The past almost 6 years of having to clash the ideologies or ideals is astounding. Then you've had to find out and realize that some of these people don't necessarily care as much as you think they do. They have their own agendas, they have their own goals, they have their own quotation mark evil plans, and so forth. And let me tell you, that is tiring within itself. The fact that I've had to expose so much. And I quite literally put myself in harm's way. In the sense of being a huge target for stuff that I've had to expose over the years. And the heads up and the warnings, because people did not like that I would give people a heads up on stuff that will happen before it happened. They did not like that. Or when something's going down and I know that it's injustifiable, it's injustice, wrong, something that's wrong. There we go. And then I've had to call that out for that, and people did not like that as well. And I had my in real life issues still too, so I was stressed 24/7. And sometimes I did notice that sometimes it was hard for others to be around me because I was stressed 24/7. Constantly fighting people, constantly fighting, period, really. Yeah, constantly fighting people, constantly fighting as a whole, work, issues with my family, because if you really knew me, I had issues with my family. Thank God that finally got solved, because holy. Then issues with people itself. Like, I had no break. Was always fighting something. I had no break. Was always fighting something. Then on top of that, despite all that, still trying to help others. Sometimes it would get received well, sometimes it wasn't received well. Then the very people you're helping biting your helping hand, if not that, just butt fucking themselves. It was a lot. And to finally get to this point, this specific point in time where Closers is now actually peaceful, we have come a long way. We have come a long way. It is finally peaceful. I've fought for this. I've worked so hard for this. I've screamed, I've cried, I've yelled, I've cussed, I've wanted to throw in the towels, I've had to been told to not give up and to keep fighting. I had to stay strong. I've had to break meaningful bonds. I've had to burn bridges. I've had to question whether it was okay to trust and depend on people or not. I've had to grow myself. I had to learn that I had to be able to depend, that at some point I've had to allow myself to depend on others or trust others with the still work in progress because some people be tripping. I fought so hard for this peace that we currently have. These new people don't know how hard it was to get to this point where it's actually peaceful. There's no fuck shit going on. They don't know that I've been one of the main fighters. Because it hasn't been all me. It's been other people who played a role and helped fighting for this peace. But I was one of the main fighters. They don't know how good they have it now. Because before it was hell. I had to be the person to finally speak up because everyone else was too much of a pussy to do so. And some of the people who did try to speak up got silenced. Very silenced. To the point where it's almost like saying, are they okay? Are they even alive? Like, these new people don't understand how hard we fought for this peace. We've even had to fight the staff for this peace. Like, we've even had to fight the staff for this shit. Some of us even had to fight Herbie for this shit. We literally fought for this peace. Now we just need to preserve the peace. That's why even though I play Rift, I still play Cold Closers. But even when I'm not on Cold Closers, I still like. Because I want this peace just as much. I want to preserve this peace just as much as everyone else wants to preserve this peace. Those prices that we have now could have been 10 times worse in the past. They finally started going down after endless fighting. If it wasn't warning people to make sure that they know how to proceed when it comes to upcoming patches and during patches and after patches and what to do when we know that we're stuck in at a wall and we need to get over, and I knew how to get over that wall. It was focusing on the prices so that it was affordable to play. I as well as other people have fought hard for the prices to be low so that we can all at least afford to play. We fought for this. We had to fight the staff for this. Some friendships were destroyed, some bridges were burned, but we finally got it done. At what cost? A lot of pain and suffering. When I tell you that a lot of this fighting caused a lot of pain and suffering to a lot of people, it did. And now we can all heal. So we're all somewhat trying to heal heal what has been broken, heal what has been damaged. We're all trying to rebuild. Right now, we are in a rebuilding. We are in a rebuilding process. Rebuilding connections, rebuilding friendships, because a lot of us have lost so much throughout this war, throughout this. Yeah, it's been somewhat of a war. Truth be told, this shit is equivalent. This shit has been equivalent to a fucking war. So we have to rebuild. So what happens after wars? You have to rebuild, right? You have to mend. You have to connect. We're in the process of rebuilding. At least on closers. Thankfully. We finally got to the true healing process. Thankfully. As far, I'm not quite sure, although I kind of hope moving forward that Herpy really, really pays attention to, like, I know she already is. She's already planning to, considering all the hell that we've all been through. That she's now started to listen closely. That she's now started to listen closely to, like, what the players think and so forth, and not just the staff and stuff, because the staff have lives too, so they can only know so much. But it's also nice to hear from the players too, because they've been actively playing the game, so they also know how the game is and so forth. So it's nice to see that Harpy is starting to listen to some of the players. So if it's one thing that I would like to tell Harpy personally is it's good that she is continuing. It's good that because it's been kind of a fight to confirm that she listens to players and so forth. But I've had confirmation for myself that she do. So I hope that Harpy continues listening to the players and not just the staff, because the staff can only say so much. The staff can only know so much and can only get so much detail and stuff. But if you also listen to the players as well, you have more options. You'll have a broader horizon. You'll have more options on your table. And then you can just weigh those options. Do it that way. Be different. Do it that way, and be different from these other people aka the other companies and other staff teams that just mainly listen to, a certain section. If you listen to everyone as a whole, you have more options. You'll have infinite options. You can do so much and you can do a whole lot with those options. You have a lot of ideas in your arsenal. And then you can plan better. So I'm glad that we finally entered this era. It has been a long time. It has been a long fight. And it's peaceful to the point where I can finally play 2 games at once without having to worry about somebody fucking up the piece and closers. And we know how people set in place to maintain that peace. Because trust, they want this peace just as much as I do. So they're going to fight tooth and nail for that peace. So I'm just glad that it's finally peaceful. And it's finally give us time, including me especially, to heal. Because we have been through a lot. As a community as a whole, we have been through a lot. So it's nice to see that we all can finally start to heal. And that the new people don't have to, even though some of them are spoiled and mainly rely on carries and everything, at least they don't have to go through the shit that we had to go through. It took me a long time, because I wasn't for gear skipping. I'm still not for gear skipping, because that's how you kind of limit yourself with, how I say it. It's not a good idea to gear skip, and that's another thing. I tried to tell people that it wasn't a good idea to gear skip, but I got fought over it. but people fought me over that. And then they come to realize, oh, she was right. We shouldn't have kissed it because we don't know how to do such and such. Sometimes clothes like to reuse bosses. Sometimes clothes like to reuse bosses. And you wouldn't have to bother searching for a guide and everything if you've gone through the process. But lucky for newer people, we have people who have made dungeon guides on old bosses. So if they ever struggle with how to fight a boss per se, they can always go search it up, and it'll be there. I still have all my dungeon notes on old bosses. I made sure to keep them just in case they ever come in handy. But yeah, I'm glad we finally entered this stage because holy. At some point during this time, I did think about wanting to reconcile things with Callie, but honestly, remember in that video I said that we fought so much to the point where, yeah, I'm still going to give Callie her distance to maintain peace and yeah. I'm still going to actively work to maintain distance so that we don't fight. Because I honestly, truthfully, I really didn't want to fight Callie. I really didn't want to fight Callie. Really, I wanted to just be honest because she would appreciate honesty rather than somebody kissing her ass and you know, she would appreciate honesty. She would like a genuine connection, even though she don't know how to say it. But I know that she would like a genuine connection. She would like someone to be honest to her and not lie to her face to gas her up. But she could not handle my honesty. I'm too harsh for her. And I guess she's not used to somebody being honest like that. So that's why she reacted the way she did. She's not used to somebody being honest like that. And I understand. Before, I was confused. I was upset because I was just being honest and trying to help. But she thought I wasn't helping at the time. And I was literally just being honest. And I was confused though at first. Then I figured out why she did what she did in rotations and stuff. And I have expressed that in videos too, but probably going to keep her distance because she's probably so upset about me being honest. So I'ma just sit over here. Yeah, I'ma just sit over here because that was a lot of heat. That was a lot of heat. That was. I'm too blunt, okay? I'm too blunt. I'm too straightforward with the way I'm honest. I have no filter. So, and I don't know how to sugarcoat. And I'm too hersey worded for most people. But yeah, I was trying to help, but was too honest. So can't quite say sorry. Oh, she's not gonna take the apology. So we're kind of too late now. She's not gonna take the apology. But didn't I think I did apologize. Yeah, I did apologize. Okay. Yeah, I'll just keep my distance and go back to working independent. Well, actually, not really independent. I have been trying to work with Yumi, just in case Yumi ever have an idea. Oh yeah, Seiya. Seiya. I've never forgot Seiya. Should probably tell Seiya that should probably tell Seiya that I had blocked him and that he can talk with me now. But I think he probably got used to me not talking. He probably not gonna want to talk. Yeah, I'll just give Seiya some space too. I'll just keep giving Seiya space, but just know that he's unblocked now. I unblocked him. Not quite sure how to. Yeah, not quite sure how to. I don't know what to tell. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I'll just stay over here. Listen, at least no one gets hurt, and I just realized that this thing has not been fixed. 1 second. Not me realizing an hour later. Oh dear God. Luckily people will just be looking at the just be listening rather than looking at the screen. I just realized. But anywho, at least everything got fixed. Yay. I need to get a sandwich. But hey, everything got fixed. Somewhat. Well, better be hitting the old dusty trail. Yep. Better be hitting the old dusty trail. Let me go get something to eat.